Hi everyone, welcome to our channel on health and wellness. Today's topic is bullying. Um, you would have heard a lot. You would have faced, maybe personally faced bullying when you were probably in school. So that's when actually probably bullying starts, right? But nowadays you have cyberbullying, right? People spend a lot of time in the internet. So cyberbullying has been very common, maybe in social media, right? Maybe in Facebook, maybe Instagram, Twitter. You would have seen, or maybe faced personally, you would have seen others doing it. Maybe you just put a post and people put negative comments in and around. Maybe that at times they get very very personal, right? And they might put some pictures, or they might write some comments which could be really aggressive in nature, right? So that's more cyberbullying. But if you think about physical bullying, right? I mean, sometimes people who think they're students, right? Especially bullying happens between the age group of 10 to 12, or that kind of thing. So people adolescent, or in that phase where they kind of get many times aggressive, right? And they think they're powerful, and to just show off, maybe to show off the aggressive nature, they kind of hurt the other person. So why people do bully, right? So the first thing is, the people who bully, they might lack social skills, right? They might not understand, or try to understand the feelings of others, right? I mean, they think that, or maybe they think that doing harm to others is probably show to the world that you are more powerful, or they kind of get some short term advantage, but it never stays in the long term, right? Because when you are bullying someone, right, it affects as much to the person you're bullying, and it affects you as much. You might be thinking, the person who is bullying might be thinking a lot more positive. They get maybe satisfied for a short while, but it actually affects the person more, because your mindset becomes more it's like a reward. It's a short term thing. You feel like you are rewarded, right, for that whatever happens, that short term incident you have done, and you feel that, okay, the other person feel the pain, so you think that that's your gain, and then you think that's a reward for you. So it's like human nature. When you think you're rewarded, you tend to repeat that activity again, and eventually other person realize that you lack the social skills, and you don't know how to deal with people. So basically, but what the person who are bullied, the person who are bullied are actually, they don't stand up for themselves, right? So this is something which happens in a society a lot, especially for the children. So it can affect their mental health along, and then when they grow up also, that probably that affects stays with them. And cyberbullying, it could be for the grown-ups as well. So in today's vlog with my wife, I'll discuss further on bullying, and how it, so if you faced it, or if your children are facing it, how probably you can do some things to prevent this kind of activities. Yeah, so stay tuned. Hi Devrati, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
How's your week?
Nice.
I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, it goes on as usual. Yeah.
So, today, what topic you are going to discuss?
Today we're going to discuss bit on bullying,
Okay.
right? Could be any form of bullying, but it's basically
I
bullying.
faced this issue.
Really?
Mm.
I think many of us have faced it. Some people don't say it at some point of time, maybe someone in college, someone in schools. But what did you face?
In college,
In
school, I didn't face.
so yeah, I think for me it was in school. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I think
So, can you explain what you faced?
what I faced, because I faced it early. So for me, I faced in the school, right? I joined the school just right. I mean, so the school starts from class 3, but I joined a little late after 2 years. So I joined class 5, right? So basically, I got bullied from my batchmates, and like they're studying because they've spent 2 years more in the school. They're like, they know what it is all about. I was like a new guy, so seeing all around. So I was like, yeah,
You are new one.
yeah,
You don't
that's
like
how people target, right? Okay, he doesn't know he's a new guy, and then okay, maybe you can bully him, right? So yeah, I mean, that was something which I faced, but eventually kind of understood that how I have to deal with it. But yeah, I mean, I faced it initially, so for me it was very new because I changed my school, and then it's a new place. Actually, I shifted my place, so
Did you change your behavior or anything?
Yes, I mean, look, initially I was like trying to understand what's going on, right? I mean, initially I thought, so sometimes bullying can take different form, right? I mean, sometimes I thought initially it was like more fun. I was like, okay, people can have fun. I also having fun, so it's like everything new. But then I thought that was more repetitive, and at some point it got a little irritating. Then I realized this is not normal. It's something which I had not faced before. So that's something which I realized is, then I understood that that is probably called bullying, right? I mean,
Okay. So I want to explain my experience. So when I was college. So that time I went to West Bengal. So here maximum students are from West Bengal only.
right.
So normally so people don't like the Northeast Northeast student. Okay, if you go in
Because,
Delhi,
see-
different side, so when I came from Northeast, so everyone is telling like was feeling like that from where you are. So I told that I am from Northeast. So they are not thinking like that we are Bengalis. So because in the Mexico,
Because the culture is different.
West Bengal, they are also Bengalis. So they did not think like that I am Bengali. So that's why they are thinking that they are Northeast, they are separate.
And they're
Their
different.
culture, everything is different. So that time I got bullied.
Yes, so basically, I think when you.
First time, so after crossing the second year, I got realized that I have to do something. I have to change myself. So
Yeah.
rather fighting on on themselves, I have to change myself. So day by day, I change myself.
Yes, you're good up, right? So I think when you change your place, especially, let's say, I mean, for anybody, right? I mean, especially in school, right? When you're not so grown up, and then you change your place, then this kind of things can happen. Like maybe other people think that okay, he's different than us, right? When you change, when you come from some other place, so that's something people think that we are one group and these guys are different. So yeah, I mean, it can happen, and there is separate distinction. Yeah, maybe that could be one thing.
So, can you tell me the body shaming that is a come under
Well,
bullying?
so body shaming is probably a little different, but of course it's part of bullying. So body shaming is particularly targeting your body, right? Maybe you're fat, maybe you are darker in skin, maybe you are shorter, so they just find a reason to target your physical appearance, right? Or at least to them you look different. Again, it's the concept is same, right? They think that maybe okay, everyone is a little fitter and you are a little different. You're short, and maybe you're fat, and then or maybe a combination of everything. And then they kind of feel as okay, you know what, this guy is. They just find a reason to bully you. This is also kind of bullying, but now this is targeted towards body just.
I think that suppose sometimes if someone is bullying you, so for some point of time it is good. So for them, you are changing yourself. You have to do something. You have to improve your skill. I think so, but for some point, but not. It should not be too much.
Well, I mean,
And if they are bullying, that means they can tell in different way. Okay,
Right.
rather doing the
Now-
bullying, they can tell in
now
different way.
so I can understand where you're coming from, right? I mean, lots of even startups, like there's a Fitter called company, right? The founder was saying he was bullied in his school, right? His appearance was not, it was more body shaming kind of an example. He was not so fit, and then people used to body shame him, right? And then he realized that okay, I have to, because when you get fitter, your confidence levels also increases, right? So he realized that I have to be more confident, I have to build a good body and muscles, and then he did intentionally just to avoid bullying and this kind of thing, like big guys bully small boys, that kind of thing. And then he kind of be into that space, and then eventually he realized that a lot of people might be facing similar things, and then he started a company called Fitter, right? And then a group of people who he inspired to be more fit. So that's something positive has come out of the bullying. Maybe again, this is my opinion. Maybe I understand like you might be lacking some things compared to your peer group, and then they push you in that direction in a negative or positive way, but then that you realize that I
They are
have to
telling
change
you
it.
like negative way, but I have to
Change it.
change your life
Right.
positive
So
way.
now that you have to consider that okay, maybe this is shortcoming, I still can improve on it, work upon it, right? That you can do.
So
That's
they
the
keep
positive.
no one can bully you.
Yeah, that's one side of it. But many times there could not be this kind of situation when people just find a reason to bully you, right? It can be at
It's
times.
it's their role. They have to bully someone.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to make fun of somebody, and then they kind of show that okay, they're better, whatever it is. But yeah, happens.
And ragging. What about the ragging? Ragging is come under
Bullying is again, so ragging is again more or less. I mean, you don't.
I think ragging is not related to PR, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
more-
it's more seniors usually ragging, and that's more kind of a tradition. Nowadays, you don't hear it because when I finished my college, and that was very common. But I think bullying is more little different than ragging because ragging, it's a specific group of people rag specific group of people, not necessarily personally. Very rarely person that rag. It's a group, a batch. But bullying is more personal, right? Maybe five people or 10 people, bullying one person, right? And they're specifically targeted, right? No, I know I have to bully this guy, right? Because he's not that strong, or he's not, maybe whatever reason they find, okay, that is different, and then they find that okay, maybe he's not that confident, whatever. Yeah, ragging again, it's a little different than bullying. So I would say you cannot consider it because it's more one group doing it to another group. It is very rare that only one person get ragged. So it's a whole group. So I don't consider bullying.
So what is the role of parent for this one, for bullying?
Yeah, I mean, not just parent, in society, in general, the society has a huge role to play. If you consider just parents, I would say make sure that your child, just first of all, parents should be aware if your children is facing this kind of bullying, right? Maybe you can help him to be more open up about it. Maybe find out what he is facing. You should not directly deal with it yourself, because that's more thing which he should learn how to deal with.
Rather, the parents cannot directly deal with this thing.
Yes.
Better if he or she can tell to their children, so you can improve this thing. So
Yes,
how they
but sometimes
can
again I
fight,
say,
against
yeah, I
them.
mean, so the parents should not motivate them to fight back. It's not always a good option, right? Fighting doesn't always help, right? Because again they'll fight. So it should not be motivated, inspired by the parents to fight. But at times it depends on what kind of bullying happens. Sometimes it's physical bullying, right? Or sexual assault, like physical bullying kind of thing, right? If somebody is poking you, some physically bullying, that may be a little extreme. Verbal is still maybe something could be okay. I'm saying if it is done over a long period of time, that can also affect you. But parents to understand what your children is going through, maybe say a few things to help him out, maybe to get out of that situation. Sometimes avoiding that situation is also walk away. That's what people say, right? Just walk away from the situation, right?
If he or she is ignoring
Yeah.
these things,
Yeah,
so then
that might that might work, that might not work as well. So if walking away helps, right? Maybe they can ask their children, okay, don't stay close to these friends, maybe try to avoid them. Or but if it is in a very extreme case where your children is physically assaulted or something, maybe then he might require some help. But then first of all, understand what your children is going through, because that's important. And if you find it out, but again, society has a larger role to play. I think the school systems as such has a very huge role to play, because maybe school should find some way to stop this, because that's when the bullying actually starts, right?
To others or not.
Right. So schools should figure out, okay, maybe they can find out something anti-bullying squad or something. Maybe they again find more children, right, of the same age group, and give them responsibility to figure out if somebody is bullied and help them to to fight against it. So maybe it's a student's thing or a children's thing, so that teachers should also not directly get so much involved, but teachers should figure out say another group of students who help this group of people, right? So there are things which could be done from the teaching or from the parental side, but I think this has to be more understood, the scale of it, and if the children can deal with it themselves, probably the best, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, that's something is my opinion, and in the next part of the vlog, I'm gonna talk maybe how you can somehow get out of these situations, and I'll also discuss a little bit more on the cyberbullying side, because cyberbullying is something which in the internet a lot of bullying happens, and put comments, and a lot of bashing happens, so to say, internet bashing, social media bashing, so to call, right? And this thing can really screw your mind, and a lot of things can happen. I'll discuss in the last part, but yeah, thank you for your time. It was nice talking to you. Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome back. So I hope you all heard me and my wife talking about bullying. But in this part, I want to talk a little bit more on cyberbullying, right? Nowadays, cyberbullying is very common as because social media is expanding like anything. So people can actually, post some really negative comment about you, and it could be really personal. They can send you messages, that could, pictures, messages that could be really hurtful, and you might get a lot of them depending on who you are. More famous you are, maybe more kind of post or messages like this can come to you. Now it's easy to say that avoid it or ignore it, maybe but then eventually you gotta find a way out of it. Maybe many times you would have seen people who are bullied in cyber, in social media. They kind of put another post saying that, okay, this is not fair, or this is not what I meant. Sometimes people are misunderstood also in their comments, in their post. So that is standing up for yourself. So yeah, any kinds of bullying, you got to stand up for yourself and explain that you should not do this. At least you got to say to people, right? This is, if something is not right, you have to say it to people, because you might be hurt. That's important. And the second best option is ignore and walk away, and just ignore it. Because if you're famous, maybe you can, some people might like you, but some people might hate you. And in cyber especially, because they don't have to face you personally and look into your eyes, they just can randomly, as a stranger, they can randomly post anything or stuff like that. So just try to avoid it or ignore it as much as possible. That's probably great. That's gonna otherwise hamper your mental health. So yeah, this is something which recently cyberbullying is a phenomenon, but then we can avoid in this way. So in bullying, the most important thing is, as I said already, stand up for yourself. Try to avoid situations, this kind of people as much as possible. But if it still doesn't work, maybe go talk with your family or your friends and find a way to deal with it. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed our vlog today. So please do like, share and subscribe our channel, and let me know in the comments what next vlogs you want me to talk about. Yeah, thank you.